Oh my god. I love TikTok. TikTok, thank you for giving me that wonderful jam to play on this intro. Welcome to the Week 6 Bud Baller review. Mostly toss-up matchups across the board. The one good matchup we had in Tom and Tim resulted in a tie. Fucking lame. I beat Drew, Sawyer beat Nick, Alec beat Chris, and John beat Jackson. There's really not that much to go over this week. Unfortunately, these are all pretty lopsided affairs. But let's get into them. So myself and Drewski. Drew, set your lineup, buddy. I'll say this again for the whole crowd. We want everybody participating. We want you making ad reps. We want you doing whatever. But if for whatever reason you can or not feeling like it on certain days, you have to log on a desktop or a laptop, but hit that set my active lineup button. I believe it's in the top or somewhere top right corner of the screen, and it'll do it for you. I'm getting sick of having to do this for certain teams. Please set your lineups. But anyway, Drew and I split percentages. I had almost 40 more threes, close to 340 more points, 140 more rebounds, 90 more assists. I had a very low block week this week. Bamba didn't miss a game and didn't play particularly well, but 10 double-doubles to nothing, 1 triple-double to nothing, winning score of 8-3, and I had 8 more players played than Drew. Sawyer asked me to add in the games played. I'm going to start doing that every week so you can see the difference on how many active games you had for your team that week. Might show you, hey, if I'm not having as many people play, I might need to start making some ad drops, start making some moves to get my team up in the win column. MVP for myself is going to be LaMelo Ball, 79 points, 34 rebounds, 37 assists, 3 double-doubles, and a triple-double. Ballin'. I would have been 6-3 this week. Only would have lost to Sawyer, Tim, and John. Currently riding a 5-game win streak, tied for first, but sitting in first. Record of 5-1-0. Holla at your boy. Meanwhile, Drewski, 0-9 this week. Rough week for him. Jokic being out is really tough because he's a total linchpin of your team. But just didn't have anything going for you last week. Especially since you weren't setting your lineup. Go ahead and start doing that for me, buddy. You got a good team. You gotta keep making those moves and setting it. 2-game losing streak for Drew. Tied for 8th place with Chris and Jackson. Record of 1-5-0. On to Nick and Saw Dog. Percentages weren't particularly close. They split them. They were tied in threes. Sawyer actually had a decent 3 week this week, hitting 73 of them bad boys. But Sawyer just wiped the board in the big categories, over 160-ish points difference, over 100 rebound difference, and a 40-ish assist difference. Sawyer handily winning both the steals and blocks, had the most in both of those categories across the league. Turnovers were separated by only 5, but a 15-4 double-double difference and a triple-double to boot from DeJounte Murray. Sawdog balling. DeJounte Murray is going to be the MVP of his matchup, and my personal MVP. We'll get to his stats a little later on. Nick and Sawyer both had the same amount of players go this week, 46 versus 46. Sawyer, 9-0, team's allocated as fuck. Great draft. Team is looking super strong. It's sitting in 5th place right now. But I think if we were all on a neutral field, we would say Sawyer's team is one of the top 2 to 3 teams in the league this year, bar none, especially when clicking on all cylinders. 1-game win streak after losing to me last week. Record of 4-2-0, tied for 4th place. Meanwhile, Nick down there in 7th would have been 3-4-2. Only would have beaten Drew, Tom, and Chris. Would have tied Tim and Jackson. 2-game slide for Nick. Record of 2-4-0. Definitely not out of the playoffs yet. Okay, next. Tom and Tim, the only good matchup we had going this week, and by good I mean playoff teams versus non-playoff teams currently. It's still young in this season, not discouraging anyone, but this was the highlight matchup, and we got a fucking tie. Lame. Tom took both of the percentage categories but lost in threes, points, rebounds, and assists. He won both of the stock categories slimly, 3 steal difference and a 2 block difference, only separated by 7 turnovers, but Tim with a huge double-double advantage in 12-4. So going to be a tie there. No MVPs are going for ties. Julius Randle's been playing like eh. The Knicks as a whole have been playing like eh. Benching Kemba. Tom, KD can only do so much for this team. Nobody was gonna stick their arm out there and just grab this motherfucking thing. So tie for those two. Tom did have 4 more players go than Tim. Tim notoriously doesn't make ad drops, so his team is sticking as is. Tim would have been 5-2-2 this week, so a little bit of bad luck tie there, but only would have lost to Sawyer and John. Would have tied Tom and Nick as well. A 1-game tie streak and a record of 4-1-1, currently sitting all alone in 3rd place. Meanwhile, Tom down in 6th would have been 2-5-2. His only wins would have come versus Drew and Chris, but he would have tied Tim and Jackson. Also a 1-game tie streak, record of 2-3-1, separated by half a game over Nick for that 6th and final playoff spot. Not really need to be talking about playoff spots just yet, but definitely something to keep in the back of your mind at all times. On to Alec and Chris. Mr. Honeymoon himself didn't even need to make any ad drops. Felt like he was just going to coast to this win, and he did get by with a win. I will say, Chris only would have been 1-8 this week. Only one would have come versus Drew, but all of his matchups were very close. Chris gave everybody a run for their money this week. It didn't result in any wins, but his team could be rounding into form, and if he kind of keeps making ad drops, he could start to make something happen, but who knows? Alec took both percentages, actually lost in threes, but won points, assists, blocks, turnovers, double-doubles, and lost triple-doubles because Chris got 2 of them things. But Alec having the highest free throw percentage in the league this week, winning his matchup 7-4. Only had 1 additional player to Chris without making, I believe, didn't make a single ad drop last week. Alec would have been 5-4, only would have lost to myself, Sawyer, Tim, and John, also on a 5-game win streak, same as your boy, tied for first place but sitting in second with a record of 5-1-0. Like I said, Chris would have been 1-8, only would have beaten Drew. His matchups all were very close, so Chris's team could be looking on the up and up if he keeps making ad drops and trying. Maybe shedding some dead weight from that roster. Who knows what can happen. 1-game losing streak for Chris. Record of 1-5-0. Final matchup of the week goes out to John and Jackson. John put down a hurting this week, but I will say Jackson, another team, I think for the second week in a row, had the most assists in the league this week. Your team is solid enough there if you want to start playing and throwing some ad drops around or checking out the lineup, setting it all the time. I think I actually saw that you did hit that set your lineup button. I appreciate you doing that. But good things can happen here. They split the percentages, but John handily won in threes, had over 260 more points than Jackson, separated by 33 rebounds, only separated by 4 assists. But like I said, Jackson did have the most in the league this week, only separated by 1 steal, 5 block difference, 10 turnover difference, 1 double-double difference. So this actually was a fairly tight matchup. John having 3 more players go than Jackson overall this week. But there's definitely some hope out there for some of the teams at the bottom. You don't have to stay down there. It's still very early in the season. If you were going to make a change, now would be the time to do it. John would have been 8-1 this week. Only would have lost to Sawdog, riding a 3-game win streak, record of 4-2-0 in 4th place. Same record as Sawyer. Meanwhile, Jackson, 2-5-2, only would have beaten Drew and Chris and would have tied Nick and Tom. 5-game losing streak, 1-5-0. We got to get that up there. We got to bring that back, buddy. Let's see, I forgot a couple MVPs. Alex MVP for the week is going to be D'Angelo Russell. He had 12 threes, 84 points, 16 rebounds, 27 assists, 5 blocks. Meanwhile, for John, it's going to be Malcolm Brogdon, 10 threes made, 71 points, 18 rebounds, 23 assists, and 1 double-double. Yahoo's number 1 ranked player of the week is going to be Russell Westbrook, 522 from the field, 105 points scored, 36 rebounds, 35 assists, and 2 triple-doubles. I would say my personal favorite player from the week is DeJounte Murray. Seem to be seeing his name at the top of most last 7-day total and averages every week because he's so freaking good. Wish Sora hadn't drafted him, but them's the breaks. 69 points, 65 rebounds, 28 assists, 8 steals, 3 double-doubles, and triple-double. He's also going to be Yahoo's number 1 ranked average player of the week, averaging 23.0 points, 9.7 rebounds, 9.03 assists. That says 903. It's supposed to be 9.3, and 2.7 steals a game. We actually have some fairly good matchups coming up this week, highlighted by John versus Alec. Al and John got some really good teams, a lot of high-scoring teams, really good in the rebound and assist categories. We'll see who comes out on top there. Then we got Tom versus Sawyer. Sawyer feel like needing a true test of this team, and Tom could definitely need to bounce back, get that winning percentage up to at least even par here. There's a chance there. Then we've got Nick and Drew in that 3rd spot. Nick's team, I think, is a little sore from losing 2 straight. Could definitely use that W. And like I said, Drew, you've got all the chance in the world right here to make something happen. Tim gets Chris. So, Chris, here's your chance to make a statement. And then I get Jackson. Set your lineup, buddy. You gon' need it. Peace.